Good morning, children. Today we discuss most important 30 questions from physics chapter motion in a straight line. The very first one, two cars P and Q start from the point at same time in straight line and their positions are represented by given. At what time do the cars have same velocity? So first of all, we have to find out velocity. Velocity Vp is the first derivative of xp dx by dt. When you do, you get a plus 2bt. Similarly, you try to take the derivative of the next one, that is velocity, instantaneous velocity of q, that is the first derivative of xq dxq by dt, that is f minus 2t. And these two velocities are to be equated. At what time do the cars have same velocity? That is Vp is equal to Vq. That is a plus 2bt is equal to f minus 2t. Okay. From this we have to find the time t. So taking t common, 2b plus 2 into t is equal to f minus a. 2 also can be taken outside as common. So t is equal to f minus a divided by 2 into b plus 1. So the right choice is option B. Next one. Preeti reached the metro station and found escalator was not working. She walked up the stationary escalator in time t1. On other days, she remains stationary on the moving escalator when the escalator takes her up in the time t2. Time taken by her to walk up on the moving escalator will be addition of velocities. That is the concept. Here, let this be the hypotenuse, that be the length of the escalator. On the very first day on metro station, she walked up the stationary escalator. The escalator was not working. So Preeti walked up the stationary escalator and reached the top in time t1. So that time is equal to distance traveled divided by speed. Let that speed be v1. So that v1 is equal to L by t1. Okay. Next case, second case. The escalator takes her up in time t2. Next time escalator was moving with velocity v2. First case Preeti was moving with velocity v1. Next case escalator velocity is v2 and reaches in time t2. There v2 can be written as L by t2. But in the another occasion, what happens? Both moves. Preeti moves up, escalator also moves. Okay, so that you can add those velocities. That is v1 plus v2. That will be the common velocity v. That is L by t1 plus L by t2 equal to L by t equivalent. You can cancel L from both sides. You can get t equivalent is equal to t1 t2 divided by t1 plus t2. So the right choice is option 3. Okay. The next one, third one. Toy car with charge Q moves on a frictionless horizontal plane surface under the influence of uniform electric field E. Due to this force QE, the velocity increases from 0 to 6 meters per second in 1 second duration. At that instant, the direction of the field is reversed. The car continues to move for 2 more further seconds under the influence of the same electric field. The average velocity and the average speed of the car between 0 and 3 seconds. Here the best way in understanding the problem is to plot the velocity time graph. You go for velocity time graph. Velocity time graph for constant acceleration is a straight line inclined to time axis. In first 1 second, what happens? Velocity is 6 meters per second. In first 1 second, velocity is 6 meters per second. Here time is 1 second. okay, increases to 0 to 6 meter per second in 1 second. At that instant, the direction of electric field is reversed. Therefore, the body will start to return. The body starts to return. Now it will undergo same retardation. Magnitude of electric field is same. It will travel same distance. It will make same changes in velocities. It will take same time interval of 1 second. So one more 1 second. That means here at the instant of time is 2 seconds. Now velocity has become 0. But the car continues to move for 2 more further seconds and total time taken is 3 seconds. Now we are plotting for the third second to occur. The direction of electric field is in the reversed sense. Okay, so that we can extend this downward and you can get this here has to be again 6 but minus plus 6, here it is minus 6 meter per second. Okay, and here what is the time? That instant is 3. Okay, now we have to know average velocity and average speed. Average velocity is equal to displacement by time. Displacement by time. What is displacement? Displacements mean area. Area under velocity time graph gives displacement. And this area let us find first. What is that area? That area is area of that triangle, half into base. Base is 1 second into height. Height is 6 and that will be 3 meter. So that displacement is 3 meter. So here it is 3 meter. For the same reason, due to symmetry, this also is 3 meter. This also will be 3 meter. So what is the displacement? Here this is plus 3, this is plus 3, but this is negative side minus 3. This plus 3 and minus 3 cancels. Only one plus 3 prevails. So plus 3 divided by total time is 3 seconds. So you get 1. Okay, so 3 and 4 cannot be the answers. Now what is average speed? While finding average speed is equal to distance divided by time. Distance, what is the total distance? Irrespective of the sign of the area, you have to add all these. 3 plus 3 plus 3, that is 9. 9 divided by time is still 3 seconds, that is 3. So that is option 2 is the right answer. It's a very good question. Was asked in 2017 Neet. Question number 4. When an object is shot from bottom of a long smooth inclined plane at an angle 60 degree along the smooth inclined plane kept at an angle 16 degree, that's repeated. Okay, no problem. It can travel distance x1 along the plane. But when the inclination is decreased to 30 degree, the same object is shot with same velocity, it can travel x2 distance, then x1 by x2 is. Here, the object is projected up the inclined plane, along the inclined plane. Okay, along the inclined plane, when you say it reaches here, it has got a retardation which is equal to g sine theta. Now, in what distance it will get stopped when it reaches here? The distance traveled by is s. The stopping distance is equal to initial speed square. Initial speed square. Say u is the initial speed. Initial speed square divided by stopping distance along the plane. Stopping distance along the plane is equal to initial speed square parallel to the plane, along the plane, divided by u square divided by 2 times the retardation. What is the retardation here? Retardation is g sine theta. By watching into this carefully, you can see u is a constant. In second incline with different angle 30 degree. Beginning 60, now 30. The angle changes, but speed does not change. It is given. G also does not change. 2 is also constant. So, S proportional 1 by sine theta. That is why x1 by x2 is equal to sine theta 2 divided by sine theta 1. They bear inverse relation. Sine theta 2 is sine 30. Sine 30 is 1 by 2 divided by sine theta 1. Theta 1 is the 60. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. So that this 2 cancels and you will get 1 by root 3. So the right answer is 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is the right answer. Okay. Question number 5. body thrown vertically upward with velocity 20 meter per second, returns after some time to the thrower with the same magnitude of velocity, average velocity during the entire journey. Average velocity during entire journey will be 0 because there is no displacement. The thrower himself catches it back. That's why there is no displacement. So average velocity become 0. Sixth one, particle cannot have. Okay, particle is very important. It's a negative question. Particle cannot have a constant velocity and non-zero acceleration. That means if a particle has a constant velocity, definitely its acceleration is 0 because acceleration is the time derivative of velocity. If v is a constant, d dt of v will be 0 because v is a constant. So acceleration necessarily is 0. So velocity constant implies acceleration 0. It is never non-zero. So that is the correct answer because that is the wrong statement. Okay, wrong statement is the right answer. That type of questions are very important. You can go through the rest of the options also. When two bodies move uniformly towards each other, distance decreases by 6 meters per second. Both bodies move in same direction, same speed as above. Distance between them increases by 4 meters per second. Then the speeds of the two bodies are. You can see here, when the distance between them decreases by 6 meters per second means what? When they are approaching, the relative velocity, velocity of approach or the relative velocity is 6 meters per second. That means if v1 is the velocity of the first body and v2 is that of the second body, the velocity of approach, that is v1 plus v2 is equal to 6 meters per second. At the same time, when they move in same direction, the velocity, when they move in same direction, their relative velocity will be v1 minus v2 and that is equal to 4. Then the speeds of two bodies are, when you add you get 6, when you subtract you get 4. What are those numbers? So it cannot be, the answer cannot be C and D because when you add you won't get 6. Okay, 4 and 2 and 5 and 1 on adding you get 6, but on subtracting you have to get 4. So the correct answer is box. 8. Electron starting from rest has velocity that increases linearly with the time such that v equal to kt. You can use this kinematic equation v equal to u plus at, where u is 0 because starting from rest. So here a is equal to, comparing, you get k is given 2, so acceleration is 2. Distance covered in first 3 seconds. Distance is equal to u0, so you can use half into a into t square. So half into 2 into t square. That is, in first 3 seconds, t square is 9, so you get the answer 9 meters. Next, there are two bodies thrown vertically upward with initial velocities in the ratio 5:7. Maximum heights attained by will be in the ratio. Height proportional to speed square. Speed square ratio will be 25:49. So answer is cat. 10th one. A body starts from rest, has an acceleration L. After traveling for some distance, it experiences retardation B and finally comes to rest again. The total time taken for complete journey is T. Then maximum velocity attained by the body in terms of L and B. Let me draw the relevant graph here. The relevant graph is the velocity time graph. This is the case where it gains some velocity, accelerates, gains some velocity, reaches maximum velocity here, Vmax, with an acceleration L, and with the retardation B, it retards and finally becomes 0. So this is velocity, here time. Here, let this velocity be the maximum velocity. Let that velocity be the maximum velocity, that is Vmax. Okay, here let this time interval be T1 and let this time interval be T2, so that total time of journey mentioned is T, that is given by T1 plus T2, that is equal to T. This is the time interval T1. Now, what is acceleration L? Acceleration is equal to Vmax divided by T1. Vmax divided by T1. From the equation V equal to U plus AT, U0. So L is equal to Vmax by T1. Similarly, the retardation B is equal to Vmax divided by T2. Okay. Now total time of journey is T1 plus T2. What is T1? T1 is Vmax by L. T2 is Vmax by B. So Vmax is a common into 1 by L plus 1 by B. From this, you can get rearranging Vmax is equal to LBT divided by L plus B. So the right option is option B. 11th one. Carriage resting on a smooth surface given a push. Now it travels a distance of 180 meters before coming to rest in 12 seconds. Initial velocity. The stopping distance S is equal to, this formula can be used as a shortcut. Your stopping distance, or even can be used for accelerating distance. Stopping distance, then U is the initial speed, T is the stopping time, S is the stopping distance. If it is used for accelerating distance, U will be the final speed. That only is the difference. Here, you can substitute 180 is equal to U into 12 divided by 2. This you will get U as 30 meter per second. Next one. Sprinter has maximum speed of 10 meter per second, reaches that speed by an acceleration of 2.5 meter per second square. The time he takes to run 100 meter is a very important question. Let us go for the graph here. Relevant graph is that velocity time graph. How the graph looks like. See, this happens at the beginning. In the first few seconds, it accelerates at a rate at 2.5 meter per second square. And it gains a speed of 10 meter per second. Okay. And it reaches here. Reaches this velocity, which is 10 meter per second. This is velocity axis and this is time axis. Later on, it goes with the constant velocity. Okay. Now, this acceleration A is equal to 2.5. Maximum velocity is 10. You can use that time interval. T is equal to V divided by A, because U is 0 starting from rest. Sprinter starts from rest. 10 divided by 2.5, that is equal to 4 seconds. So here you get 4 seconds. So it accelerates at constant rate in time 4 seconds. Afterwards, it maintains that constancy of the speed. 10 meter per second is maintained. 10 meter per second speed is maintained there. Okay. Now, what is the total distance traveled? That is 100 meter. Distance means, or displacement means here area under the graph. Here non-negative side graph. That's why displacement and distance say. So the distance traveled is 100. This area plus area of the rectangle. What is this area? Area, that is displacement S, is equal to half into base into height of that triangle. That is 40 by 2. That is 20 meter. That means this area is 20 meter. This area is 20 meter. So total distance is 100 meter. So this distance within 4 seconds is only 20 meter. Rest of the distance must be 80 meter. Then only the total distance is 20 plus 80, 100. Okay. Here, this 80 meter distance it travels with constant speed 10 meter per second. Then what is that time? Time is equal to distance divided by speed, that you get 8 seconds. So here it will get another 8 seconds, extra 8 seconds. So up to here it will be 4 seconds. So from here to here another 8 seconds. So 8 plus 4, here the intercept will be 12. So the total time to run 100 meter is 12 seconds. It is not 8 seconds. It will be 12 seconds. Okay. That 8 seconds also would be there in options. 13. Boy is throwing balls into air. Question is about juggling. He throws whenever the previous one is at the highest point. Okay, a normal juggler who learns to juggle, what happens? Throws upward, and when the ball reaches, one ball reaches the highest point, only the other one is thrown up. Okay, so what do you mean by that? The time interval between two neighboring throws will be the time taken by the first one to reach the top. Once again, the time interval between two balls. time interval between the two throws will be the time taken for the first ball to reach the highest point. Okay, keep that idea in mind. Now read the next part. The height to which the balls rise if he throws once in 2 seconds. Okay, that means it takes 2 seconds for each throw. So one throw that reaches the top, then after 2 seconds only next throw. That means one ball, the first ball reaches the top in 2 seconds. Time to reach top, time of ascent is 2 seconds. That is time of ascent is equal to 2 seconds. Time of ascent is equal to 2 seconds. That means height is equal to half g time of ascent square. You can use the formula. That height, you can use this formula because time of ascent is equal to time of descent. When it reaches the top and when it falls back, it takes the same 2 second time to reach down. Okay, so that formula can be used. Half into 9.8 is 4.9. 4.9 into 2 square. 4.9 into 2 into 2. That is 9.8 into 2. That is 19.6. Pebble is thrown vertically upward from a bridge with initial velocity of 4.9 meter per second. It strikes water t2 seconds height of the bridge is. This type of a question also is very important. This is the side view, cross-sectional view of the bridge. Okay, these are the legs or pillars of the bridge. The object is thrown from here, from some height h, upward with speed u. It follows a linear straight line path upward and downward along the same straight line and falls water. Thrown at t equal to 0 and it reaches at this time t seconds, capital T seconds. What is that time? That time is given 2 seconds after which it falls. Then we can use that equation, kinematic equation, as acceleration is a constant. S is equal to ut plus half at square. What is S here? Displacement is from t equal to 0 to t equal to 2 seconds. That means it is downward. So you put the sign minus h, that we have to use. Minus h, that we have to find. Then what is u? U is upward direction. What is that u? That is plus 4.9. I am using upward positive and downward negative. Plus a. A means acceleration due to gravity, that is directed downward. So I have to put minus sign. For that value is 9.8. Acceleration due to gravity value is 9.8. Now into t square. What is t there? 2. So 2 square. 1, 2 gets cancelled. So minus h is equal to 4.9 minus 9.8 into 2, because it is half into 9.8 into time is 2. So 2 square, 1, 2 gets cancelled. So minus h is equal to, that is h is equal to 9.8 into 2. What is 9.8 into 2? That is 19.6 minus 4.9. So what is the correct answer? 19.6 minus 4.9. 19.6 minus 4.9. That will be 7. There is only one answer possible. Then that will be 40. So answer is box. 15. The speed with which a ball must be thrown down for it to bounce 10 meters higher than the original level. This is the original level. Suppose this is the original level from which the ball is thrown upward. It is to reach 10 meters higher than the original level. Let this be 10 meters. And this is the original level. Assuming there is no loss of energy while collision happens. There is no loss of energy. That means if there is no loss of energy, when it is just dropped itself, after bouncing it reaches to the same height, right? That means at this occasion, it is to reach 10 meters above. With what speed it should be projected downward? Then we have to impart an extra kinetic energy. That kinetic energy should be equal to the extra potential energy of 10 meters. That means when this object is dropped from here, it doesn't have any kinetic energy. And it bounces, reaches the same height. But it is to reach extra 10 meter. That means that extra potential energy is equal to the extra kinetic energy. So extra kinetic energy is half mv square. Extra potential energy is mg into 10. M cancels, you get v is equal to root of 2 into g can be taken as 10 into height is also 10. So that will be root of 200, that is very close to 14. So very close to 14. So I have taken g as 10, that's why it's only approximation. 16. Body allowed to fall from top of tower covers half of its height in last second of its journey. When a ball is dropped from the top of a tower, it covers some distance in the last seconds of journey, means that will be the second or time of the entire journey. The last second of the journey, suppose it is 10. It takes 10 seconds to fall down. If the last second of the journey is 7th second, then it takes 7 seconds to fall down. That's the logic. Okay. So the formula used here is distance traveled in nth second is equal to u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. This formula can be used here. Okay. One of the formula. The other formula used is distance traveled in n seconds. That is un plus half an square. So this formula is used for distance traveled in the nth 1 second. And the first formula is used for finding the distance traveled in n seconds. Okay. Then the height of the tower is asked. Okay. Now here, by using height of the tower h, if you are using height of the tower as h, so h, and also starting from rest, so you can use half a can be written as g half gn square. Okay. Here, what about this one? It covers the half of the height in the last second, half of the height in the last 1 second. Okay. Half of the height means what? That will be h by 2. Total height is h. Half of the height is h by 2. u0. So you get g by 2 into 2n minus 1. Equate these two. You can equate it there, so that you will get 1 by 2 times 1 by 2 gn square is equal to g by 2 times 2n minus 1. Okay. You can cancel this g here. You can cancel this half here. Okay. So that you get n square by 2 is equal to 2n minus 1. That is n square is equal to 4n minus 2. So that n square minus 4n plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay. Now you can find the value of n. You can find the value of n by using quadratic. Minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac divided by 2, that you will get 4 plus root 8, that is 2 root 2. So you will get, I'll write here 4 plus 2 root 2 divided by 2, that can be written as 4, 2 can be cancelled, 2 plus root 2. So 2 plus 1.4, that you can write 3.4 seconds. It takes 3.4 seconds. Okay, so 3.4 seconds is the time taken to reach down. I have not taken the minus root, because 4 minus root 8 means what? 4 minus 2 root 2. You cannot adopt that, we adopt the single root. 4 plus a root of 16 minus 8, and you can substitute for the value h is equal to half into 9.8 into n square to get the answer. Check the answer, dog. Next one, a body is dropped from the point 160 meter high. Another body is simultaneously projected up from a point on the ground vertically below the first with velocity 18 meter per second. First body dropped, second body projected upward. At what time they meet? As both are starting from same time, along same line, the time to meet is equal to relative separation, S relative divided by V relative. S relative divided by V relative. Time is equal to distance by speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. Time equal to distance by speed. Time is equal to relative distance by relative speed. Time. What is the relative distance? That is 160 divided by. What is the relative speed? That is 80. So you get 2. So answer is box. Because initially the first one is dropped. That's why there is no velocity. Second one is projected upward with a speed of 80 meter per second. So the relative velocity is 80 minus 0, that is 80. Relative separation is the separation, that is 160. Okay, so the answer is box. Next one. Body dropped under gravity from rest from the height h meter travels 9h by 25 meter in the last second of its motion. Once again, doing the same as we practiced before, just before we have done and used those formulae. Okay, I'm directly writing how to write using that formula. That is 9 by 25 into half g n square is equal to, okay, u is 0, g by 2 into 2n minus 1. Following the same steps as before, you cancel g, cancel this half. Following the same steps, you can get the value of n, find the value of n, then substitute to get the value h by using half g n square. Find n from the first equation, substitute and get the answer as answer box 90. From a balloon ascending vertically with velocity 29.4 meter per second, a stone is dropped when it is at a height of 78.4 meter. The time taken by the ball to reach the ground. The same method that we followed before, we used the same. Here, the balloon is looking like this, ascending with velocity 29.4 meter per second. Stone is dropped when it is at a height of 78.4 meter. Time taken by the ball to reach down. The ball follows this path. Okay, as earlier we have used in another problem. The same method we have to use. I'm not explaining it fully because I have explained it there. So I am using this formula, minus h is equal to ut minus half g t square. What is h here? 78.4 equal to, what is u here? That is 29.4 into, time is asked here, minus half into g. G I am taking 10, 10 by 2 is 5, 5t square. Okay, you find out the value of t, you will get t as 8 seconds. So answer is dog. 20th one, position time graph of a body is moving with, here position time graph. You can see the graph is a curve like this. Let me little enlarge it. Position time graph looks like this. You can draw the tangent to the beginning point. There you can see the slope is positive. Slope of position time graph gives velocity. So velocity is positive. And you go for another tangent at the midpoint. There the slope is 0, so the velocity is 0. At the final end, you draw the tangent, slope is negative, hence velocity is negative. So velocity is positive in the first half, then velocity is negative in the second half. So initial velocity is positive. Initial velocity is positive. That's why you cannot go for answers C and D. E also cannot be true because velocity is variable. Position time graph, slope varies, so velocity variable. So A or B is the right choice. That we have to check. There we have to go for acceleration. Okay. Now you can see that acceleration is the time rate of change of velocity. At the beginning, velocity was negative. Now velocity increases, becomes 0, then decreases. As velocity decreases, acceleration is negative. So the correct answer is option A. 21. Of the following, the one gives positive acceleration. As earlier mentioned, you can conceive this very easily by going through these tangents. Velocity first decreases, velocity first becomes 0. Initially it was negative, then it becomes 0, then it is positive. That means velocity increases. That's why acceleration is positive. So this represents a positive acceleration. So answer is apple. 22. Out of the following, the possible graph is. To check whether a graph is possible or not, you draw a perpendicular to time axis. You can see here this graph meets with 2 points and you get two velocities at the given time. A given time you get two different velocities. That is never possible. At a given instant of time, velocity cannot be having two values. That's why C is not possible. What about here, this graph? This one also you try like that. There you get two intercepts on y-axis. That is also not possible. At the same time, position or velocity cannot be repeated. Another graph, option D is given speed. Speed has shown negative side. Speed is never negative. It can also never decrease. So that also cannot possible. But this one is possible because that is velocity. So velocity can increase. It can decrease. Okay, velocity is a vector. So the answer is A. Initial velocity of particle moving along a straight line is 10 meter per second. So particle is moving in a straight line with initial speed of 10 meter per second. It retards. So acceleration is minus 2 meter per second square. It retards. Distance moved by the particle in the 5th second of its motion. As we are familiar with the formula for finding the distance traveled in the nth 1 second of its motion, U plus A by 2 into 2n minus 1. That is distance traveled in the 5th second is equal to U is plus 10 because that is towards right. I am taking Cartesian convention, rightward direction positive. Now acceleration is directed leftward because it is retarding towards right. That means accelerating towards the left. That's why minus sign. So acceleration is to be given minus sign. 2 by 2 into 2 into 5 minus 1. Okay, that is equal to 10 minus, then it will be 10 minus 1, 9. So answer is 1. So the correct option, apple. 24th one, displacement of the object moving with uniform acceleration is given. T is equal to root of x minus 5, where T is in seconds and x in meter. Displacement when the velocity is 0. Square this. T square equal to x minus 5 and x is equal to 5 plus t square. You have to get the velocity. Velocity is the first derivative, dx by dt, that you will get 2t. You have to know the displacement when velocity is 0. So you put velocity equal to 0. That means 0 is equal to 2t. That implies t equal to 0. That is, at t equal to 0 itself, velocity is 0. Now what is the displacement? Equating x is equal to 5 plus 0. That is equal to 5. So the correct answer is option D. 25th one. Stopping distance is directly proportional to. It's a very direct question, but very important. Stopping distance, we know the formula u square divided by 2a, where a is the retardation. Stopping distance is directly proportional to square of the speed, square of initial velocity. So 26th one. Velocity time graph of a moving object is shown in figure. The total displacement of the object during the time interval when there is non-zero acceleration and retardation. From this picture it is clear, from 0 to 20 seconds its velocity is constant, and also from 40 to 60 seconds its velocity is constant. That means acceleration is 0. The object has only non-zero acceleration between the time interval 20 as well as 40. So between 20 and 40 the graph looks like this, a cap. Okay, then what is that time interval? That time interval is 20 to 40. That is, time is 20 seconds. What is the displacement? Displacement in velocity time graph is the area under the graph. So find the area under the graph from 20 to 40. Area of the rectangle plus area of the triangle. Area of the rectangle whose base is 20 to 40. That is 20 seconds. Then height of that rectangle is 1. Height of or altitude of the triangle is 3 units, 3 meter per second. Okay, you can find directly that area. Check the answer box. 27. Two cars started moving with initial speeds v and 2v. For the same deceleration, their respective stopping distances repeated. S proportional to speed square. So ratio of distances, stopping distances will be the same ratio as that of square of initial speeds. Speed ratio is 1:2, square ratio is 1:4, so the answer is C. 28. Bullet fired into target loses half of its velocity after penetrating 20 centimeter. You can use this shortcut. Distance traveled S2 is equal to S1 divided by n square minus 1. S1 is the distance traveled when its velocity reduces by 50%. That means loses half of its velocity. So S1 is 20, half of that n will be, that fraction is 1/2 whole square minus 1. That you will get S is equal to 20 divided by, numerically, its magnitude, 1/4 minus 1, that is 3/4, and not using minus sign. 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. 4 goes to the numerator, you get 80/3. Okay, that is S2. Now we have to know what further distance it moves before coming to rest. That is S1 minus S2. That is S1 is given 20 centimeter minus S2 is given 80/3. That is equal to 60, that is 20/3. So the answer is 20/3. 20/3 is very close to 6.66. So the answer is apple. 29th one. Particle is moving with constant acceleration from A to B in a straight line. When U and V are velocities of A and B respectively, velocity of the midpoint. It's a very popular and conventional repeated question. Suppose a particle is moving with constant acceleration from A to B in a straight line. A and B are these points. Particle is moving in a straight line. U and V are the velocities of at A and B. When the particle reaches at A, its velocity is U. When it reaches B, the velocity is V. As it is accelerating, we know V is greater than U. Okay, then the particle has traveled a distance of S. Then we can use the kinematic equation as acceleration is a constant. That is V square minus U square is equal to, or V square is equal to, you can use V square is equal to U square plus 2 into A into S. But the next case, when you take the middle point, let its velocity be V dash. Now applying the same equation, middle point is at a distance of S/2. So you can write V dash square is equal to U square plus 2 into A into S/2. Here 2 cancels. Okay, so that you can substitute for AS. First equation becomes V square is equal to U square plus 2 into, what is AS? AS can be V dash square minus U square. Now you can get the equation for V dash. By rearranging, you will get the answer option D, root of U square plus V square by 2, the last one. A car starts from rest and accelerates at 5 meter per second square. At t equal to 4 seconds, a ball is dropped out of a window by a person sitting in the car. What is the velocity and acceleration of the ball at t equal to 6 seconds? This is the window. The ball is dropped at t equal to 0. T equal to 4 seconds. Begins from t is equal to 0. Now say the train reaches here. At t is equal to 4 seconds, the ball has been dropped. Now the ball follows a parabolic path with respect to a person standing outside. Now at t equal to 4 seconds, what happens? The ball has reached somewhere here following a parabolic path. Now, what is the velocity and acceleration? Acceleration is 10 meter per second square because it is falling under gravity. The ball does not have any horizontal acceleration during the fall. It has only vertical acceleration, that is acceleration due to gravity. That's why our answer is option D. But how this velocity has come this much? That is very important. Here, it is clear the ball at the end of the 6th second having a resultant velocity along this direction can be resolved into two rectangular components where V is the resultant and Vx and Vy are horizontal and vertical components. Vx you can find here by observing the velocity of the object when it was just dropped, because the velocity of that object when it was just dropped was moving along the train with the same velocity as that of train. The train was moving with a constant acceleration. After 4 seconds, the velocity of the train is u plus at. You can use ux plus ax into t. Train initially starts from rest, that is why ux is 0, ax is given as 5. So 5 into time is 4, 5 into 4, that is equal to 20 meter per second. That is the horizontal component of velocity of the ball when it was just dropped at t equal to 4 seconds. It keeps the same horizontal component of velocity as it doesn't have any horizontal acceleration after being left by the person in the train. Okay, now what is Vy? Vy is actually that velocity is varying because it is accelerator under gravity. You can use this formula uy plus ayt. Uy is also 0 because at the point of dropping at t equal to 4 seconds, it doesn't have any initial velocity. So the time interval between 4 seconds to 6 seconds is 2 seconds. So uy is 0 plus ay is numerically 10 meter per second. I am taking the magnitude into time is 2, 4 to 6 seconds 2, and that is still 20 meter per second. And Vx is equal to 20, Vy is equal to 20. So the resultant will be root of 20 root 2 times 20. So the correct answer is dog. Okay, with that we end up with our discussion. We have discussed most important questions, okay, based on this chapter. Thank you.